Welcome back to ChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from DoctorYoun. Plastic surgeon reacts to BBL smells. Why do they stink? Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Yeah, those BBLs be stinking.
In order for you to have a BBL, you have to stink for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's the sad reality of a BBL.
Do BBLs really smell bad? Well, let's break it down on this video today.
I just want to see the breakdown with DoctorYoun.
The term BBL smell, or the phrase BBLs be smelling, is going viral on social media.
It is.
People are claiming that women who undergo BBL surgeries smell bad afterwards. Is that true? Let's hear what some people are saying.
BBL smells is trending, and there are a lot of reasons for that smell.
So I don't know what he was trained in, if he's a physician, if he is in the medical field, but he obviously has some of his own ideas. Now, first of all, before we hear what his thoughts are, what is a BBL? The BBL stands for Brazilian butt lift. And this,
You know, I've covered these stories and so many people ask what it is. It's nice that the doctor actually covers it.
is an operation where you liposuction fat from one part of the body, like the thighs, the hips, or the abdomen. We purify the fat and then inject it into the buttocks as a way to enlarge them. We make little incisions in the buttocks to inject
Okay, they said purify the fat. That might not happen in these other countries, I'm assuming.
the fat, and then about half the fat or so will stay long term. And this is the most common way that people basically enlarge their rear ends.
If someone has had a normal size behind for all of their life, and then they switch up, and now they got this big BBL, they have to reach back there and really clean. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not used to doing that, they might not know that, hey, you sweat differently. Everything is different when you add that much more meat back there. That thing can't breathe.
It touches
as
more,
good.
more friction.
So I think he's saying that it's harder to clean back there when your butt is so much bigger. And not having had a BBL, I can't say for sure if that's true, but I guess theoretically that could be the case. It's just harder to maybe reach back there.
When you get a BBL, your ass is so rock hard. Like, I could barely get toilet paper and like a hand between my butt cheeks, let alone like an enema. And that thing is tiny.
Oh,
So there is truth here. When you undergo a BBL surgery, depending on how much fat is injected into the butt can feel real hard and firm. And this is something, you know,
the doc used freaking rocks in it. That was
I used
awesome.
to do BBLs back in the day. I don't do them anymore. And even the ones that I did, I would only inject maybe 300 or 400 cc's into each butt cheek. Now, how much is 300 or 400 cc's? Well, it's about 1/3 to 1/2 of a 1 liter canister, or let's say 1/4 of a 2 liter. So we're not talking a huge amount
No,
of
that's
fluid.
not that much.
And that much was enough oftentimes to cause a butt to feel pretty firm and hard.
Oh.
Well, there are doctors who are injecting literally 1 liter or even 2 liters into each butt cheek. And if that's the case, can you imagine how hard those butts will be afterwards?
I think that girls just aren't wiping good enough or cleaning between their butt cheeks after they do the number 2 good enough. And that's what's stinking. So if you get a BBL, I suggest this to anyone, but I highly suggest using baby wipes to wipe.
So that tends to be the most common hypothesis of why BBLs smell, is that people just aren't able to wipe back there as well as they ideally should. One other option other than baby wipes, though, is to get a bidet, because that's a great way to clean your bottom without having to kind of really reach back there. But there are other theories that are being presented for the BBL smell of why this is happening. So let's hear from a guy who I think looks like a real expert at BBL.
And in the club, sometimes it do leave a little trail. You know, like we could be in the section, and it could be like 2 or 3 BBL baddies, and you wondering like who the hell got cheesy fries? You know, like who got their socks out? You know, something don't smell right. It ain't the champagne, it ain't the Hennessy. It be the BBLs, and when they bundled up together, it's like a trash pile. You know.
I feel bad laughing, but I mean, trash pile? Huh? And is the term BBL baddie really commonly used? This is the first I've heard of the term BBL baddie.
Not all of them, But you gotta understand,
I don't think it's commonly used, Doc, but it gets used. Baddie gets used all around and gets added onto every little thing.
it's like physics. If you was a chick that was like, all right, 150, right? 150 pounds, and then you got a BBL. So the BBL made you probably like 170, 180. You're not used to that go around.
Okay, so if you have a BBL, fat is taken from one part of the body and injected into the butt. So you are removing fat and then putting it back in, and then some of that fat will once again go away. Your body will absorb it. You are not adding 20 pounds of somebody else's fat to your body. So if you weigh 150 pounds before your BBL, unless you gain weight naturally by eating too...
Wait, Doc, but I thought they had fat stores already ready to inject women, especially in other countries, not just taking the fat from the women, right? Because there's no way you're going to be able to put 2 liters, 3 liters into someone's buttocks if they didn't have that much fat in the first place. I'm just, going back and forth with the doc here.
Too much and not moving enough, you're not going to go from 150 to 170 just because you had a BBL. It's not physics that way.
Okay.
That unfortunately or fortunately is not true.
You feel me? That hand to back motion, you're not used to that extra 20 pounds back there. So when you cleaning, you may miss a few little specks. You feel me?
I actually agree with what he says. It's 20 pounds back there. Right. You're right, Doc, that they took the fat from other places, but they all put it in back there. So you would have gained significant weight back there at least, or size.
I know a chick, she be doing waxing, and she be saying them BBL baddies be coming in with specs, and the thong was supposed to be blue, but it's brown in certain sections because they can't get that go around. You understand me? So, yeah, that BBL do got a smell.
I love how he speaks with such confidence as if he is an expert at this stuff.
As someone who's Dominican, I'm going to explain the BBL smell.
So it sounds like she is an authority on BBLs and why BBL surgery may cause somebody to smell bad because she's Dominican.
Doc is such an ass.
The smell doesn't come from the butt or from the vag. The smell comes from the fat excretions that are coming out.
Do tell more. Fat excretions?
So when women have liposuctions and BBLs, about 3 weeks later, all the way up to 3 weeks later, they have excretions, actually grease, that comes out of their body, and it has a putrid smell.
So why would an incision drain putrid smell 3 weeks after an operation? The only real reason why is if it's actually infected. An infection is going to cause a whole lot more issues than a smell. Now, it's very common after liposuction or a BBL surgery to get a little bit of drainage for a day or two, maybe 3 days at the longest after an operation like this. We get that fluid that we inject that will help to reduce bleeding that can kind of seep out through these incisions, but it's not necessarily fat that is coming out.
Okay,
And
so there
if
is
it
some
smells-
excretions at least. So that is confirmed. Maybe not fat excretions, but the liquids they used, so people don't bleed. Okay.
As bad as she's saying, then yes, you got to worry about an infection. That is not common.
So
Okay.
the BBL smell is not because of women's pH balance. It's not because they don't shower. It's simply because it's fat excretions that are still coming out weeks after the surgery is finally done.
Now, I know she's Dominican, but I don't think that this is true.
Okay, this young lady said, y'all be saying anything. BBLs don't produce a smell. If somebody stinks, it's personal hygiene. That is completely false and untrue.
So he definitely knows. And we're going back to the first guy in the video who said that BBL stinks. So let's find out why he thinks that these stink, because he seems like he is definitely an authority at this.
As a matter of fact, you see one of the side effects of a BBL is fat necrosis, which produces an excretion of the fat that was put in, and it smells. Another lady in my comments confirms that she had a BBL and had to wait 4 months before she could do anything because of the excretions.
So fat necrosis is a known complication of BBL and any type of fat grafting surgery. And essentially what it is it's fat that dies. Now, most of the time when fat necroses, it can either liquefy and the body absorbs it, or it can actually turn into a hard mass that oftentimes doesn't get reabsorbed at all. But I have never heard of fat necrosis draining through incisions and smelling really, really bad. And if fat necrosis, it doesn't necessarily leak out through incisions unless, let's say, there was some type of an infection causing that incision to open up.
That's
so
what
I
I was
really enjoyed
thinking.
all these TikTokers' theories about the BBL smell, especially how they present them with such confidence. It cracks me up, and I really got to give them a round of applause because that was a lot of
I thought it was hilarious. That's why I covered so many videos about the BBL thing, and it was trending. Might as well, can't be serious all the time, guys.
fun. So what do I believe the BBL smell comes from? Well, I believe that most likely it's due to personal hygiene. And if it's not due to personal hygiene, then the other potential cause of a bad smell after BBL is an infection, which hopefully is not true because that can be life-threatening. Or maybe they didn't wash their compression garment very often. Most patients who undergo this operation have to wear a compression garment for several weeks, sometimes longer after the operation.
Oh, this is a good explanation.
And they wear them oftentimes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you're not washing that garment regularly, it can stink. So I don't think that everybody who has a BBL smells bad. And one good example of somebody who I think had a BBL, and I don't think she smells bad, is Kim Kardashian. And take a peek at this video right up here where I go over what I think is going on with Kim Kardashian's rear end.
Shout out to Dr. Yoon. Nah, man, you ruined the joke, Doc. The joke was, this is why Kim Kardashian wasn't, keeping men, because she had smelly booty. Now you just ruined the joke, Doc. Damn. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.